Here are 4 things you can do to improve your gut health. I'm Jennifer, an integrative healing practitioner. Did you know that the health of your gut has a huge impact on your mental health? I dealt with constipation as a child, and I also grew up eating a standard American diet. So I'm willing to bet that both of these factored into my mood issues, fatigue, and ADD that I experienced as a child. Keep listening, and I'll explain why I think that is. The gut and the brain are connected through what is known as the gut-brain axis. It's a two-way communication system that constantly exchanges information between these two organs. This connection occurs via multiple pathways, including the nervous system, in particular the vagus nerve, which is the longest cranial nerve in our body. The vagus nerve extends from our brainstem down to our abdomen. So it sends signals from our brain to our gut and also transmits information from the gut back to the brain. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Our gut is often referred to as our second brain, and it's home to trillions of microorganisms, including bacteria, viruses, and fungi. There are actually more bacteria cells in our gut than there are human cells in our entire body. These microorganisms, which make up our gut microbiome, play a crucial role in digestion, nutrient absorption, and even the regulation of cognition and mental health. For example, certain bacteria in the gut are responsible for producing neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, which are critical for our mental well-being. As much as 90% of serotonin is produced in our gut. Through this continuous communication, the brain can impact gut health, while the gut microbiome can influence brain function, mood, and behavior. This bidirectional relationship shows how interconnected our physical and mental health are. When we experience stress, anxiety, or other emotional disturbances, the gut often responds with symptoms like bloating, indigestion, or constipation. At the same time, an imbalance in the gut microbiome due to poor diet, antibiotics, or other factors can negatively affect brain health, possibly contributing to anxiety, depression, or cognitive decline. So maintaining a healthy gut is not only important for digestion, but also for overall mental and emotional well-being, reinforcing the link between what we eat, how we feel, and how our body functions. So here are 4 things that you can do to improve the health of your gut. Number 1, eat mostly whole, real foods. Eating a variety of whole, real foods helps keep the microbiome diverse and feeds the good bacteria. Processed foods are lacking in fiber. Fiber helps digestion and feeds good bacteria. It reduces inflammation and strengthens the gut lining, among other things. Processed foods also contain added ingredients such as artificial sweeteners, sugar, colorings, flavorings, and preservatives that affect the health of the gut microbiome by reducing the variety of bacteria, promoting growth of harmful bacteria, and potentially causing inflammation and leaky gut. So leaky gut is when the lining of the small intestine becomes damaged and undigested food particles, toxins, and bacteria are able to leak through the intestinal wall into the bloodstream. During processing, processed foods are also stripped of vitamins and minerals. Any nutrients that are added back are often forms that aren't beneficial for many people. For example, folic acid is often added into processed foods. Many people, though, have trouble converting folic acid, which is the synthetic form, into folate, which is the usable form. Processed foods can inhibit the body's ability to absorb nutrients due to added ingredients, lack of fiber, and disruption of good gut bacteria. Number 2, take probiotics. Probiotics support digestive health by breaking down complex carbohydrates, proteins, and fats that the body cannot digest on its own. They also enhance nutrient absorption by strengthening the gut lining. Probiotics are not created equal, though. Spore-based probiotics are the better option since they have a protective outer shell that allows them to withstand extreme conditions, including high temperatures, stomach acid, bile, and digestive enzymes. Once the spore-based probiotics reach the intestines, they can germinate, multiply, and colonize the gut, unlike many traditional probiotics that just pass right through the digestive system without permanently settling. Spore-based probiotics also have a unique ability to sense their environment and adapt to that environment. They can help restore balance in the microbiome by promoting the growth of beneficial bacteria and inhibiting the growth of harmful bacteria or pathogens. Okay, number 3 is make lifestyle changes. If you don't get enough sleep, it can disrupt your gut microbiome by reducing beneficial strains of bacteria and promoting the growth of harmful bacteria. So how does this happen? Sleep deprivation raises cortisol levels. Cortisol is your stress hormone, which is released during periods of stress. Our body releases it to keep us alive when we're in a fight or flight situation. But producing too much cortisol, which happens when we don't get enough sleep, can lead to inflammation, leaky gut, and other health issues. Lack of sleep also impairs the gut-brain axis that I talked about before and can reduce the production of neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine that help regulate our mental health. The Dutch test, which is one of the essential tests that can get to the root causes of health issues, measures your level of cortisol, serotonin, and dopamine, as well as gut dysbiosis, which is an indicator of an imbalance between beneficial bacteria and not beneficial bacteria. Another common lifestyle factor that many of us experience in our modern world and that raises cortisol and other stress hormones like adrenaline is stress. So these stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol lead to, you guessed it, inflammation and leaky gut. When we're chronically stressed and our nervous system is in fight or flight mode, our body isn't prioritizing digestion. It's basically doing what it can to keep us alive, and digestion isn't one of those things that it prioritizes. So we can get digestive issues such as small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, which causes symptoms of gas, bloating, diarrhea, or constipation. Number 4 is to get rid of pathogens. Running a Parawellness test and GI map test to see what parasites, protozoa, bacteria, and yeast you have in your body is an important part of supporting your gut. Pathogens and an overgrowth of yeast or bacteria can disrupt the balance of beneficial bacteria and harmful bacteria. When bacteria overgrow in the small intestine, it's called small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, or SIBO. As I mentioned before, SIBO can lead to bloating, gas, constipation, or diarrhea. Pathogens and an overgrowth of bacteria or yeast can also lead to nutrient malabsorption, since these pathogens take away nutrients that our body needs. Some bacteria consume vitamin B12, iron, and other nutrients. Some pathogens also produce substances that can inhibit the activity of digestive enzymes that are in our body. These enzymes are necessary for breaking down food into absorbable nutrients. Some pathogens even produce ammonia, which in large quantities is toxic to the body and the brain. Many people, like myself, are already genetically more prone to higher ammonia levels. So having pathogens that add to the ammonia level can lead to so many health issues like gut inflammation, leaky gut, an increased risk of infection, as well as fatigue, brain fog, and joint pain. So I'm sure you can see how important our gut health is for our mental health, as well as our physical health and well-being. So I hope you can also see that at the same time, though, that there is so much we can do to improve our gut health. I want to give you one semi-myth that is worth mentioning. I'm sure you've probably heard that prebiotics such as fermented foods are good for the gut, right? This is true if you have good gut health to begin with, but most of us do not have great gut health due to the foods we eat, our lifestyle, pathogens, and also antibiotics and medications. So, prebiotics can feed small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, which remember can cause digestive symptoms such as gas, bloating, diarrhea, or constipation. So, if prebiotics cause symptoms for you, then it's best to avoid them. If you'd like to get your gut and brain healthy, you can sign up for a free 20-minute health assessment by going to holisticwellbeingih.com.